In mid-1949, whispers began to circulate through the intelligence corridors of the Cold War. It was the KGB who first caught the scent, fragments buried in field reports, inconsistencies in battlefield accounts. Within weeks, MI6 intercepts corroborated their suspicions. Somewhere in the Middle East, amid the bloodshed of the Arab-Israeli conflict, weapons had surfaced, weapons unlike any the world had ever seen. They struck with impossible precision. Their blast patterns left residues no ordnance specialist could classify. Survivors spoke of light that folded in on itself, of wounds that would not cauterize, of soldiers collapsing without a mark upon them. To the trained eyes within Geneva, the profile was unmistakable. The energy signatures matched, line for line, the Council's own most classified experiments. And the implications were grave. If prototypes had slipped beyond containment, if knowledge had leaked into the hands of states, or worse, into the hands of militias, then the unthinkable had already occurred. Weapons designed as instruments of controlled annihilation, meant only for the sealed battlefields of interdimensional war, were no longer confined to the struggle against the unknown. They had crossed into the realm of human conflict. What had been conceived as a shield against rifts now stood ready to be turned upon men themselves, the very species the Council had sworn to defend. For the first time, the Council confronted the unthinkable. Its own secrets had become someone else's weapons. For Christoph Dahlen, this was not merely espionage. It was betrayal, a violation of the Council's first and most sacred law, neutrality. His response was immediate and severe. Dahlen summoned Mikhail Abakumov, the Council's iron hand, to root out the rot from within. But this investigation would not be entrusted to existing personnel, men and women already enmeshed in the Council's web, already touched by suspicion. Instead, an independent tribunal was conceived, a force apart. Drawn not from Geneva's inner circle, but from the shadows of the Eastern Bloc and the ranks of neutral nations. Officers and operatives who owed their loyalties to no single power and whose only oath was silence. Their training was swift and merciless. Abakumov himself oversaw their conditioning. Days bled into nights in abandoned facilities across Eastern Europe. Interrogation drills, endurance trials, weapons stripped to their bones and rebuilt in darkness. In July 1949, the tribunal delivered its first verdict. 2 council members, 7 operatives. Their charges: smuggling, treason, the transfer of forbidden technology. The evidence was conclusive. The trial brief, the pleas, guilty, the sentence, death. They were executed by beheading, a punishment chosen to mark treachery in the oldest terms. The vote was not unanimous, but it passed. The weapons facility in Tel Aviv, tied to the breach of secrecy, was destroyed in a covert demolition. Every individual connected to it was declared compromised and eliminated. Order was restored, but the wounds ran deep. In the aftermath, Christoph Dahlen confided in Salman bin Samir al-Faqih. Weary and disillusioned, he declared his intent to resign and urged Salman to take his place. Salman gave no answer. Instead, he summoned Mikhail Abakumov. Together, they outlined a new design for the council, one born of betrayal and blood. It would not merely defend against rifts. It would police itself without mercy. The Planar Defense Council had survived its first great crisis, but in surviving, it had changed forever.